Are you here, Randy?
Sorry about that.
There you are.
So first, I just want to say thanks for everyone who was able to attend the Dallas event. Thanks for the hospitableness from Gogo and her team. I thought that was really a great event. I enjoyed meeting a lot of you. Too bad Gogo is a little bit sick now. Some of you guys are sick, but overall, I think it was a success. I really enjoyed more than anything. I was talking to Gogo yesterday. I really enjoyed more than anything the way that you guys seem like you're on a very united front. I deal with a lot of teams and a lot of people on downlines, and the best part of it, the culture for the team that Gogo's created, I thought was very, very positive, and I love that. So that to me meant more than anything else, and I'm just really happy to be even this much part of it. So.
Thank you. I agree. Raise your hand if you feel like we are one big happy family. Like if you did not get at least 1,000 hugs at the event, then probably none. And I think that's what we have going on, is the true love and collaboration. I mean, I was telling Dwayne as we were leaving that I have never been a part of a real estate team before, or a group, or whatever you want to call it, that says I love you at the end when you say goodbye. Like, I love you, bye, have fun. Like, that is just like an unbelievable feeling, knowing that we have hundreds and hundreds of us who has each other's backs, and we refer to one another, and we train together, we travel together, and we love on each other. Like, it was an absolutely unbelievable feeling. So I don't know how you guys want to structure this. I figured I'll start with my notes, and then everybody kind of just pitch in your thoughts. Or does anybody want to go first and just tell me, you know, if you have something that you definitely want to make sure that everybody knows, feel free to go first. If not, I'll start with my notes, and then we can all just chip in.
Gogo, do you mind if I just talk about one thing? This is a big thing that I had on our on the role play call today.
Yeah.
Just really fast, and I just want to go over this because this is kind of a big thing. So one thing that we were talking about, and I don't know, is Clancy on here?
I don't see her.
Okay, I wish he was, because we had a good success story that I'll share. But one thing that we were dealing with, and one thing we've been getting a lot of questions, like, okay, well, how do you assist in getting offers accepted versus the next lender? So one big thing I want to tell you guys, whether it's me or whether it's somebody else, and I think Gogo can attest to this. I've done obviously files for Gogo and some other teams, but one big thing I want you guys to understand, it should be a symbiotic relationship between the realtor and the loan officer. When you don't know that loan officer and you're getting an offer, you're trying to present an offer in your area or outside the area, it doesn't matter. You should know who you're dealing with on as to who the loan officer is. And the loan officer, number one, has been in the business a while. If they're good, if they're not good, whether you're representing on the listing side or the buy side, you should familiarize with the loan officer. Whether, so if you're on the listing side, let's say you have 10 offers, you narrow down to 3, you do your side by side, and you say, okay, these are the 3 I want. Each loan officer should be interviewed by you, because you probably don't know that loan officer. And if you do, it'll carry more weight, great. But if you don't know them, understand that, like, again, this is, whether it's transactional, whether it's seasonal, whether it's long-term, this is, at this point, this is your business partner. There's no other way to look at that. And that business partner, you could have spent 3 months, 6 months, a year with that client. That business partner has to take you to the promised land, right? You got your client there, you spent time with them, but now this person, you got to trust your whole transaction in this person's hand. Well, if this person is not qualified, then he's going to mucky up the waters for your closing. You don't want that. You want to be able to close that file in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and move on to the next client and super impress your client. That's such a big thing. On the buy side, what happens? Buy side, a borrower says, hey, I have somebody that I want to use. Fine. You're not supposed to direct who they use for the most part. You can give them a suggestion, a recommendation. Even Gogo and I are good friends, and Dwayne, we're all good friends, but at the same time, she's not going to say just go to, she'll give you maybe 1, 2, 3 different options. I encourage that. You're comfortable with. At the same time, are you vetting that person? Are you vetting your partner, your future partner that you don't know? Are you vetting them to see how they're going to finish that transaction? So that's a big thing. So the recommendation I'll give you guys, go on LinkedIn, go to their page, see how many transactions they close, do anything you can, do their research on them just like you would anybody else. Because at that point, if they're starting to say phone jockey from Quick Loans or whatever it is that's going to get the deal done, and they don't really know. You understand, guys? They get paid on loan submissions. They don't get paid on closing. They get paid on loan submissions. So their whole job is to get a file into processing. That's my biggest concern. Understand that's your partner. That person should be calling, emailing the listing agent. They should be your advocate. If they can't get a hold of them, there should be a video message that goes out to them and say, hey, this is so-and-so, our client is well qualified. We're working with this buyer agent, this selling agent, whatever it is. And we're going to make sure that we get this, to the promised land. Would that make you feel better as an agent, as a listing agent, if you got that call from that loan officer? So just keep that in mind. Remember, this is whether you like it or not, this is your business partner. Qualify your business partner before you get into bed with them. So that's all I really got to say on that. I thought it was important, but I'm going to stay on Gogo for another 15 minutes if you don't mind, just to kind of hear, because I want to hear. I know you're probably going to talk about Dallas, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, we're going to share our notes today. And yes, guys, I'm going to add on to that. So who can tell me actually, what is it called when you would, let's say, send someone very kindly to work with somebody else? What is the word in real estate?
Referral.
Steering. So we are not supposed to steer them. You remember, we are not supposed to guide them to go work with somebody else. But because I've been in the industry for over 10 years, there are just certain brands out there that I rather not work with unless I absolutely have to. So I am not going to steer my client and tell them you cannot work with that lender or you cannot do this or that. But it is your job as the expert to tell them that I have a different opinion about this company than you do. And just in case we have a hump in the middle of the road, I want you to know that I told you so. You know what I mean? So it is your job as the expert to say, we might not have a smooth sale ride all the way to the closing table. Also, I did not have good experiences with the online lenders in my career. So if you get someone who comes with a pre-approval from an online source and they never had their employment verified, they never had their funds verified, they probably never even pulled credit or anything, they just gave them a pre-qualification, it's not a pre-approval, run fast. And you are the expert. It is your job to make sure that your clients, if you're representing them on the buy side, that they are represented. We cannot close without a lender unless it's a cash deal, right?
Gogo said it best. You are the expert.
It is your job. It is your job. The buyer doesn't know any better. The buyer is like, I don't feel like going through pre-approval, so I'm just going to go online, fill out this questionnaire, and get a piece of paper and go house hunting. They're just looking for the easiest way to go look at a house. But it's your job as the expert to make sure that you can actually close on that. And for that, have your relationship, have those 2-3 different type of lenders that, for example, Randy, can you do new construction?
No, but I can refer you to somebody that I have in my network that will, which I'll happily do, just so you guys know.
Yeah, that's exactly why I asked you this question, because I know you can't. So that's the reason I'm saying have 2 or 3 different type of lenders in your back pocket.
Gogo asked me for your own new construction. You asked me, didn't you? And what did I say? If I can't do the best job at it, I don't want to do it. For example, jumbo loans, I can think of better options in certain circumstances where somebody will do a better jumbo loan. A mixed loan, I can think of other people. So Gogo does the same thing. And I take pride in that because we're here to be really your liaisons more than anything.
Yeah. So make sure you have your relationships and make sure that you understand what your lender's limitations are. They might not be able to do new construction. They might not be able to do a jumbo loan. They might not be able to do a doctor's loan. They might not be able to do a vacant land loan, but that doesn't mean that they don't have their connection, someone they trust, they can make the recommendation. But either way, have all of these lenders that can do all of those in your back pocket. So if nothing else this week, interview local lenders to make sure that you have a lender for all of these needs that your buyers may have, starting from vacant land all the way to, doctor's loans. Okay. Thank you, Randy. So that's for the mortgage minute today. Let's go right into our notes. So I will start with this one, and it is an EXP one, but it was eye-opener to me. You remember when they put Eminem on the screen and they were playing that "You Got One Shot" song? And I realized how this company, literally, it was one big or small decision, I don't know, to come over to this company was one shot to change my career. One. And so I wrote it down. You have one shot to change your career, and EXP is your best shot. So that's for me. Of course, everybody on here, you can change it to whatever floats your boat. But to me, it was one shot. One little decision can literally change your life to the better or for the worse. That's how life is. It's just one little tiny decision that can be life-changing. Anybody took notes on that? Nobody? That was only me, I guess. The next one, purpose. What's purpose? I always wonder, I'm like, okay, what am I here on earth? What am I here to serve? But I never heard it put it this way. Purpose is what you can do with your time and talent. That's your purpose. So if you wonder, what am I here to serve? What's your talent? Put some time to it. That's your purpose. Do it over and over again. Next one, have you guys heard of this site? I actually never heard of this site that's called Haro, H-A-R-O, help a reporter out. Now, granted, I have not had a chance to Google it yet. I just wrote it down. But if you want, you know how sometimes you see these people having all of these articles written about them in, let's say, Money, Yahoo, or Forbes, or any of these magazines. You can actually get featured and you can help a reporter out. So if you go to Haro, H-A-R-O, help a reporter out, you can literally write articles. They will show you all of the different articles that they need subjects for, or they need articles. You can help a reporter out and you could potentially be featured. So check this out. I haven't had a chance to actually go to the site, but it sounded amazing. So
yeah, I wrote that one down too. That's a good one. Yeah.
Did you check it out?
No, I can look at it up really quick though. But that's actually kind of cool because that's a great way just to get your face out there, to get your name out there for people to know who you are. Is half of these you know, whatever you want to call them, celebrities, they get paparazzi because they call them. They get, you know, people that are on TV and they're in books because they call them and say, hey, come out here. I'm going to be here and here this day. And then everyone floods to them.
Yeah,
I mean,
I thought that was a cool idea. I didn't even know that existed. Like I can just.
I have created an account so I can tell a little bit how it works. So you go register, just make a profile. Then you get 3 emails per day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 at night. And then you're going to get a list of all the articles that they are writing and what they need. And it says exactly, we need someone to talk about, I don't know, real estate market in this specific city, or we need someone to talk about this and that. And they have all these categories like health, business, education. So it comes like category by category. But you have to go and look on the emails because it's 3 per day. And they say exactly like who you have to contact, where you have to click. And some of them are anonymous. So you're going to be featured, but your name is not going to be there. And some of them are like little mini interviews.
Why would I do that and not have my name featured? Forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Not an option. If I'm just, my name is
not. They say like this one is an anonymous quote.
But don't waste your time, guys. The whole point is to get featured. So if it's anonymous, forget it. Move on to the one where your name and your account is actually going to be tagged. The only reason you want to do this is to generate more eyeballs on your existence. So I wouldn't be doing it for anonymous purposes. I will be doing it to market myself and my business. So yeah, don't waste your time with anonymous unless you want to. Unless you want to be
Kitchens did a podcast on this. It's like she did a podcast on Haro and how to like use it. And so it's one of her older ones, but if you go into Honey Badgers and just or Facebook message Holly Kitchens, like she did a whole podcast on it and how we should all like be using it. So yeah, it is. So like if like obviously you guys know I'm a breast cancer survivor. So like if there's anything else in your life that you've been through, go in and search for that because it's there. It's because then it's still going to say Gogo Bethke, Gogo's real estate, even if you're talking about something else.
That's awesome. Thank you. The next one I wrote down, safe equals poor. Yeah, right? Because if you stay in your comfort zone, in your safe zone, you're not going to achieve amazing results. You're going to have mediocre results. So if you want to play it safe, you're going to have poor results. You're going to live poor. The next one, the biggest marketer wins. You don't have to be the best in the industry. You just have to be the loudest. You just have to be the best marketer. The biggest marketer wins. So the more you put yourself out there, the more you create that brand for yourself, you win. I mean, if you think about it, I came over as an individual agent. Number 2 in the company. You know, I mean, that's just because I'm the loudest on social media. So the biggest marketer wins. The faster you learn to market yourself. We don't sell houses, guys.
Hey, Gogo.
Yes.
Do you have a marketing plan set in stone?
No.
Like,
I'll just promote me, and some more me, and tomorrow me, and the day after that is me.
But how do you know what's worth promoting and what's not?
You just post it and you'll see the results by the likes and the comments. If it's working, you like it. If not, you just don't do that. You do something else every day.
Do you ever second guess yourself or edit your videos that you post?
Nope.
You guys, that's my biggest thing. And I know that's one thing I noticed working next to Gogo every single day is the difference. She's like, just grabs the camera and just takes a picture or just does it and it's done. Most of us were like, oh, oops, I messed up right there. Let me go fix that. Or, oh, I got a pimple. Let me go clean that up. No, just post it.
I never edit. If you look at my videos, they're never edited. It's one shot. I'll just turn it on. But I always go off of gut feeling. Like whenever that idea is in your head. So here's how I look at it. When an idea crosses your mind, guys, God put it in there because you have the skills to make that happen. The only reason you don't do it is because you stop and you're like, I don't know, should I do it? What are people going to say? What if it doesn't work out? You are the one who questions it. The skills are already in you because God would have not given you the idea if you didn't have the skills. He would have given the idea to somebody else. So you already have the skills, what it takes to make that idea a reality. It's, are you going to stop yourself from it or not? I rather be on my deathbed, look back and be like, well, that was stupid, than to look back and be like, what if?
Yeah.
So I rather have a bunch of stupid ideas and I'm like, well, that was stupid, than to have a bunch of like, what ifs. I don't want to have a single what if in my life when I'm on my deathbed. So I will try every single thing that crosses my mind. And have it ever happened to you? Raise your hand. When I remember the very first time it happened to me, when I realized that not all of ideas are ours, that are literally a gift from God. I was in the shower and I got this great idea. And I was like, what a great idea. But I know that's not my idea. I know it was given to me. Has that ever happened to you? There you go. So that's when you know that you are in tune. You just need to act on it. But you have to act on it, because that's what's going to take you to the next level. So no ifs or buts, never thinking twice, you act. Just like Tony said, you remember every morning he'll jump into that cold water and he tells his brain what we are doing, not the brain tells you what we are doing today. You tell your brain what you're doing today. You jump. My favorite say is, I'm the type of entrepreneur that you jump and then you build a plane on the way down. You don't need to know the how. Okay, the next one. Access is the currency of champions. What does that mean to you? To me, it means that I know somebody. So if I don't know the answer to it, I know exactly who to ask. Not only that, but access, it removes that distance. So that person that you have on the pedestal, when you get to sit next to them, when you get to know them, they just become human. And when they become human, it allows you to be like, if you can do it, I can do it. That distance becomes tiny. So make sure that you put yourself, and this is the best part when it comes to events, is you get to elbow bump these people. You get to sit next to them. You get to ask those questions. You get to go out to dinner. You get to know them as a human being. So
I love that. And I have to say, did anybody else that experienced Tony Robbins with us feel like, oh my God, it's Tony freaking Robbins that's going to be with us? And then you saw him and you were like, he's just a guy. Like walking by me, and I was like, he's just a giant human. Like he is what, 6'7"? I was like, he's just a giant human and he's an incredible human being. And I looked into his eyes and I felt like there was this sense of calmness that came over me when he looked at me. And I was like, he's just this person that has just unlocked it all. That's all he is. And if he can do it, we can all do it too. And that was probably the biggest takeaway that I took from all of this was he's just a person just like all of us. And I thought that was really cool.
So this is my 8th or 9th event with Tony. And you might question, why the heck would I still be going? And it's because you have a different level every time. So when you go the very first time and you have your questions answered and you open up another, it's like an onion. Think of it this way: you keep peeling it one layer at a time. But every time you go, you have a different problem. Every time you go, you figure out something else about life. As Veronica Figueroa says it, different levels, different devils. So you don't know what you don't know because you're not at that level yet. So now you have to go again, because now you're at this level, you have different problems. You have different questions than you had here. You know, your life quality and the quality, they say your life is as good as your questions. But think about it, when you are 3 years old, you're going to ask your mom of like, why is the sky blue and why is the grass green? You're not asking them how to invest into a warehouse. You know what I mean? It's a totally different question, totally different level of life. So you keep having to go back to open up these, you know, peel the onions one by one. The next one, and this is, I think I'm really good at this one. I was very proud of myself though. But let me tell you it this way: receive to give, because you can give more. How many of us have a hard time asking for help or asking questions or allowing people to help us? So when this one, actually, I think it was Dan Beer, and he said, if you learn to receive first, you have more to give. So it's okay to ask those questions. It's okay to allow those people into your life. It's okay to say, hey, I don't know this. Can you help me? And then when you have that, and also connections, when you have all of these people in your vicinity, now our Team Gogo training is much better because now they're all helping. Now we are receiving information from them, so we have more to give. So it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to reach out to those people, allow them to teach you something you don't know, so then you can give more to your people. And here's a big one, and raise your hand if you have been there, because I've been there, and I just opened this conversation with that. When you look at something, do you look at it as how much it costs or what it makes you? Okay, raise your hand. Let's say I say, let's go to this Tony Robbins event, it's $3,000. Do you look at it, how much it costs? And based on that, you're gonna make your decision if you come? Raise your hand if you look at it, how much it costs. So about a quarter of the room. Okay, raise your hand if you look at it, what it's going to make you. But now raise your hand if you look at it, how much it's going to make you, because you went to an event and now you know how much it's going to make you. What have you felt the same way prior to that? If you never gone to an event like this, to walk away with the knowledge and knowing that I can turn that $3,000 into millions, I would have not known that if I didn't go to an event. So you don't know what you don't know until you force yourself to go to an event and invest into yourself, and you walk out of there and you say, oh my Lord, it was worth every penny, and I'll do it 1,000,000 times over. I made millions of dollars with Tony's teachings, millions. Granted, through my career, I have probably spent multiple 6 digits by now, easy, somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000. At this point, I have probably spent into investing myself, but I have turned it into millions. So I no longer, I'll be the first one to tell you, I used to be that person that looked at it, how much it cost. I was like, I'm saving $3,000. I'm going to watch it on YouTube. And that's free, right? Is it the same experience when Tony walks by?
Absolutely not. It's so different. I tried doing the UPW online, the digital thing, and yeah, it was great, but it's, oh my gosh, it's nothing when you're shaking your phone to go, yay, as opposed to him out there actually doing his little thingy. It's so
just
cool.
the energy in the room.
It
like
is,
you can
yeah.
feel that energy in the room. Like it's just, you can't explain that. And this is why one of the reasons, guys, we are doing this recap. And I don't want to be the one monologuing. I don't want you all to think or just hear my point of view. Please, everyone pitch in. The whole goal today is for everyone to understand and maybe see a different perspective, not just mine. But you can't describe that. We can try until we go blue in the face, but until you force yourself to go to that first event so you can experience it and break that ice for yourself, I can never describe it in a way that you are going to understand it, not until you feel it. Talia, this was your first event.
Yes, and that I wanted to talk about that. That was my biggest takeaway. I've been with EXP 2 years now, and you have said, even before I joined, you were encouraging me to go to events. And I was always coming from a perspective of, okay, how much is that going to cost? You know, coming from that side, and I just would not pull the trigger. And it took for me to stop looking at events like, okay, no, I can't afford that. I can't make it happen. And I start looking at it now, what do I need to do to make this happen? So that's how Dallas happened for me. It was like, I'm going to register. I'm just going to make it happen. I'm going to work my butt off. And so like, but it's something that it took me out of my comfort zone, and I still have to work on it, because as soon as we didn't even leave Dallas yet, and we were already talking about UPW, Cabo, EXP, and I'm sitting up here like overwhelmed, like, take that leap again. Like everything you learned from this time, it's an experience that I will never forget. And it's something you have to experience in person. Like we participate in these different masterminds with like Daniel Beard, Jane Kinder, Albie Stasic, but to see them in person, like in their leadership, in Veronica Figueroa, I forget how to say her last name, but all of these people are regular people. They all started where we started. There was one guy up there, he didn't even have a high school diploma. And he's selling millions in real estate and has an empire. And he made a point to tell people, I do not have a high school diploma. Like anything is possible for anyone, but you have to take that leap of faith, get out of your comfort zone and attend these events. And I think they even said, like, it's your job when you go to these events to show other agents what they missed out on, because it can be life-changing. And so that was one of my greatest takeaways, to kind of, and I'm still working that out, because it's a muscle I never used before, just to take that leap of faith and go. So I'm trying to work on the next event now, arrange the childcare, and I'm like, it's all going to work out. But I'm learning to invest in myself. If I want to be better for my family, for others, for my business, it's important to invest in yourself.
So you want to share some of your takeaways? Do you have some major ones?
Yeah, I was trying to go through my notes because there's a lot. Like what I highly recommend, and I did this even preparing for Dallas, is I started following Brent Gove on YouTube, and I watched the events that I missed because I wanted to prepare myself to come. So I know they'll probably release the recordings for this event. I'm going to go back and rewatch it, because there's some things that I know in the moment you're so excited, I want to go back and take notes. One thing that I feel like every speaker talked about, literally every speaker, was mindset. Like you have to do the work. It's for all of them. It's just believing, as simple as believing that you can do something. Like if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you will not be able to do it. And so mindset was really big for me. Tony, I went to this conference just with the goal of taking my business to the next level, not going into this knowing, wow, there's going to be some soul searching here. Like he goes, and he didn't really go deep. Like I know that he can, but it hit me in a different way. So like he used weight loss as an example, right? And for me, it's always, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have enough time. And he broke it down. He said three keys to a breakthrough. And he wrote it down. He said, he wrote out these 3 words and he circled them. So one was strategy. And he said, where we mess up is we always start with the strategy. So how am I going to lose weight? If I'm using that as an example, how am I going to lose weight? What diet am I going to use? What gym? And I would always get stuck with the strategy. He was like, you need to focus on your story. That was the second key point. What is your story? Think about everything that you've been through. I even had to look back at like bad habits that I have, old habits. And then he was like, it starts with the state of your mind. I don't know what has happened. I've heard about fitness, weight loss, all my entire life. I don't know what happened, but for some reason, when he talked about the state, the story, and the strategy, something clicked for me. He even said, like, don't let your ego get in the way of what you can build for your family. Like I heard one lady say, I think I was with Gogo or someone else, she still wouldn't get on camera. She was like fearful of the camera. Well, dig deep. Why don't you want to be in camera? Because at the end of the day, you're not confident and comfortable with yourself. And so you don't feel like even with the pictures, I was kind of mad at myself. I missed out on a lot of pictures because maybe I'm not comfortable with how I may come out on camera. And so if I want to change it, I have to start with the state of mind. So literally when I got back, I was like, I'm taking massive action. I joined the gym. I've been working out, but I don't know what it was. It's like, and then break it down in small steps. Take it as one day at a time, make time. But I'm learning, in this business, we go and we go and we go. I can no longer say I don't have time to eat better or work out or take care of me. How can I build an empire and I'm falling apart? So I have so much that I have a lot of notes, but for me,
So Tony always says, change your story, change your life.
yes.
Wherever you are in life, you are there because you keep telling the same story to yourself.
Yes.
So if you want to change the outcome, you have to change your story.
Mm-hmm.
I want to piggyback on Tay, just because you're talking about energy and like physically fit. So Tony, and because I can't stick around too long because there is a mentor mastermind today, but Tony said, he talks about energy, right? He talked about hunger, energy and hunger, and how energy fuels our relationships and income, and hunger fuels our progress. Progress equals happiness. And so one of the things that he had us do, if you've ever watched his videos or if you were there with us, is how many times did we get up and vigorously jump for anywhere from 20 to 45 to 60 seconds? And he knows the biochemistry behind this. And then remember, there were times where we sat and he's like, no, sit with life, sit with energy. And he wanted us to be very active, and how it changes your blood flow and everything. So to what Taylor was just saying, I ordered, you guys are going to crack up. So funny that I called Christine Dunn to be like, oh my God, I ordered it's coming tomorrow, the 45-inch Pelpo trampoline. It's like a mini trampoline. It's like the best brand. It is it's going to sit right there. And so I was talking to, and it's a thing called grounding. You guys should Google this. And so as soon as you get out of bed, you jump for 30 seconds just for blood flow, then go about your day. But every time in between a Zoom, a call, because you guys all know, if you've taken any negotiation strategies, you're never supposed to negotiate a deal seated. You're supposed to stand and walk, always. And I find that when I'm on the phone with my clients, not on camera, I'm pacing this whole place. Well, P.S., I am going to be jumping throughout the day to regain that energy. Like a day like today, I have been on back-to-back video calls since this morning, and I'm going straight through till 5. If I had this trampoline behind me right now, in between, I would just jump for and then there's big workouts to come with it. So I just want you to know, this was a small investment. It was like $125. So I will keep you all posted on it, but I believe
and it helps your lymph nodes to shake. They have to shake in order for you to stay healthy. And it breaks you out of your mood. So as much as I'm most of the time happy-go-lucky kind of person, not every day is a sunny and freaking 75, and not every person is a walk in a park. Okay, some people are in a walk at freaking Jurassic Park. And now I had that phone call with them, and next thing you know, I have to go on a podcast and I have to be me again. Well, it's not a freaking switch of a button. Even though I'm really good at it, I still sometimes I'm so freaking mad. I can't put a smile on my face. How am I supposed to go on this podcast right now and just be my cheery self? You know how? You jump on that freaking trampoline, you put music on as loud as you can, you get on that trampoline, you freaking bump it, and then you got up and you're like, okay, I'm ready.
I swear to God, I have seen her do this. She'll be like so angry and she's like, I gotta go jump. I'm just gonna go jump.
I have a vision call with everything bouncing up and down.
Yeah, it works. If I had a stronger bladder, that would be definitely my thing. But
you should shout at yourself.
And even when he speaks, he would talk for a minute, and then the music come on and everyone's jumping down. And I wish you guys could have saw me. I had people coming up to me like, I just love your energy. I was in there jumping, fist pumping, just going crazy. But it was just like, wow, I see the value in this. Everything that he was doing, I see the value in all of it.
So I want to play this game because I wrote this down, and I use this sentence because I just run into a lady who said it's hard to go on camera. So she said it's hard to go on camera, but then I wrote this down, but it's way harder to be broke. So now I want you to write down, what is your heart? It's hard to, write it down right now. It's hard to, we all have our heart that we think it's hard. It's not hard. You think it's hard because you have a story, remember? So it's hard to, write it down, but it's way harder to be broke. And stick it to your mirror and change your story, change your life. And then the one thing that Brent Go said, and I had to write it down because I heard it from him say it this way, that rising tide rises all boats. But he said it this way, many hands makes the load lighter. And I think that's what Team Gogo is all about. We have so many hands and we help each other, and it makes the load so much lighter because you don't have to figure out, what's your open house strategy, because you're just going to post it in Team Gogo and you're going to have a million answers within 5 minutes. Many hands make the load much lighter.
Yeah.
What you focus on, what energy goes. Or how does it go? Where energy goes, focus. Where focus goes, energy go. I can't remember.
Flipping through my
Also-
notes, trying to get there. I'm like flipping through all my pages.
Either way,
So
focus equals
yeah.
feeling. We tie a feeling
Yes.
to something, to everything. So be careful what feelings you tie to certain things. You remember going to events, it's expensive. Is it a cost? Or you could look at it, how much money it's going to make. So it's a feeling that we tie to everything, and be careful of what feelings you attach, because it will going to give your life a meaning. Okay, the
what you
next
focus
question.
on, you will feel it. Life is about meaning. Emotions equal quality of life. Focus equals feeling.
Hey,
So they all
while
kind of.
we're on the energy piece, I just wanted to share for a second. One of the other pieces that it wasn't directly about energy, but energy played into this for me, was when Chauncey Pham was sharing who you are in someone else's story, like understand what role you play in someone else's life. And one of those things for me is like at these conferences, for example, I'm a good energy person, but I'm a kind of private energy person, so to speak. Like I have positive energy, but I don't necessarily emote it and put it out. So I tend to do things with Beth, because who's more high energy and puts it out there and extroverted than Beth? So she and I, for me at least, I don't know how it works for her, have always kind of gelled at these conferences. But one thing that I realized is that none of these people that I admire and appreciate are hearing that from me. And I want to be the person who also shares with them what they mean to me, and by them sharing what that's done for me. So I've made a mental note that going forward at conferences, I'm going to have to break off and do my own thing, and not just stand there and go, yeah, when Beth goes, oh, you're awesome, and oh, you did this for me. And so that's my own personal driver. And hey, thanks, Beth, for doing that for me for a year and a half now.
That's awesome.
I get that. I get what you're saying. I feel that. Totally.
I see Mike Sims on here. I want to hear a guy's perspective.
He's chiming in a little bit in the notes.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Mike, you want to pitch in?
Can't hear you yet. He's having technical issues over there. I've been texting back and forth with him too.
Let's see. Say something.
We can see you, but we can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Okay, got it. Dwayne, do you want to pitch in from a guy's perspective? Because this was also your first event. And Robbie, you're on here too, I see.
Yeah, for sure. No, for me, I mean, it was my first big conference. It was my first Tony Robbins, performance or whatever you want to call it. So it was amazing. You've gone 8,000 times and you always bring these quotes home, and I wouldn't say I've ever rolled my eyes, but now I get it. Like, I came home ready to tear it up. He's phenomenal. And until you see him in person, you just won't know. But a couple of things that stuck out for me is stop playing small, right? And really, like, opportunities don't go away, they go to someone else. Those were two of the big quotes for me.
I love it.
And also the fact that he said, we have a gift to give with EXP. This is such an amazing company, and it creates so many different revenue streams, and it's just a better way to do real estate, and it's collaborative and all that kind of stuff. We have a gift to give. So it's almost our duty to reach out to agents. I mean, before, no one really wants to put themselves out there. Hey, you want to text somebody on Instagram that you've been following for a while. Hey, how do you like your brokers? You want to come to EXP? That kind of stuff. No one, I don't think, likes doing that. And of course, Gogo, you don't have to do that, but most of us do. And no one likes to do that. But I think, after something like this, where you got to put your ego aside, because for me, if you don't want to put yourself out there, then you'll be broke. Right.
Yeah.
So that was some of my big takeaways for sure. We have a gift to give.
Love it. Robbie, you want to go next? Max?
Yeah. I don't know if he's on here, but happy birthday, Ryan Bostwick. It's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Ryan.
But anyway, okay. So before I get into what I said, I want to just tell the story. So Bobby Hall, one of my partners, he's on here somewhere. So I invited him to this conference after Gogo made me buy tickets. And I said, look, you got to go to this conference. Gogo says we have to go. And it's going to change our lives. And I did go to, I've been to previous EXP things and they've been awesome. So I'm like, look, it's going to change it. And he fought me for days on this. He's like, I'm not spending the money. I don't have the money. I can't go. I don't want to waste my time. I'm too busy at work. Gave me every excuse in the book. And I said, look, do one thing for me. Just get there. Okay. Just get to this conference. It's going to change your life. So we left the other day. When we got back, he called me. He said, hey man, I just want to thank you. He goes, that conference literally changed my life. He was like, I met so many incredible people, so many people I got to network with, and then just all of the cool stories from people. So that's the Bobby Hall story. What I took away from the conference was opportunity. And that's really the big thing I take away from pretty much every EXP thing is just the opportunity that we have in this company. I mean, it is absolutely, watching for 2 days straight, watching agents on the stage, crying their eyes out. You can just see it in their face. Like they didn't expect any of this. They just came I don't think anybody comes in thinking that they're going to make all this money or they're going to have all this ownership. They come in kind of unexpectedly, especially like the pioneers coming in, really not knowing what EXP was going to do, but just really powerful stuff coming from all those people. And I had to bring my wife because my wife didn't have a ticket. And I left the first day and I said, you have to come to the second day. You have to see this because this is just unreal. And just watching those people, man, it was just incredible. So a lot of takeaways, but that was probably my biggest.
Gogo, you muted yourself.
I didn't, somebody did. Mike, do you have your sound back on? Because you're unmuted. I don't know if you're ready.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, go.
Damn phone isn't working. No, it was an amazing conference. I think the main thing is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Everybody is there to help you, and you just have to get over, at least myself, just get over the fear and go do it. That's the main thing. Everybody's there to help you. It was an amazing.
Bobby Stasek says it best. He says, if you do what's hard, life is easy. If you do what's easy, life is hard.
Yeah, I got to do Tony Robbins, do the uncomfortable every day and you'll change your life forever. You'll be of the life of your dreams. So every day do something that is uncomfortable to you. It'll change your life. Yeah. So one of the things that I got from Dan Beer was stop limiting yourself with the rules that don't exist. I thought that was a very powerful statement that Dan brought out that stuck with me, was stop limiting yourself with rules that don't exist. Don't let people tell you that you can't do it or that what you want to do doesn't work. There are no rules. There are no rules, and don't let people tell you that there are. I thought that was a super powerful quote that Dan brought to the table.
Yeah.
He has the 8 laws.
Yeah.
Right. Like literally, that's what I kind of wanted to talk about, because a lot of us don't realize it. What like for farming, he used as an example, like, sending out just sold flyers or posts. Well, just sold, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to the public? Why does it, just because it's a just sold and we literally just sold it this weekend, that doesn't matter. It's still sold, just sold. Who cares if it's sold yesterday, last week, or 6 months ago? You're just sending, just sold. You're just making a post. You're just sending out a flyer. It doesn't matter. Nobody said that the rules are you can only send out a just sold flyer or postcard or make a post if it's just sold within the last week. There is no rule there that's stating that this is when that flyer has to go out or when that just sold is.
Yeah.
So that was.
I remember when I got into real estate, you know how they tell you that you have to be respectful of other agents' area. If that agent has been in that area for a while, then it's kind of theirs. I was like, I'm sorry, but do you own that neighborhood? Like, no, just because you have been here in a while, well, step aside because Gogo's coming to town. I never cared about these rules that don't exist. You if I always say this, watch this little video, 6 Rules of Life by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I can't say his name. 6 Rules of Life. In there, he says, don't break the law, break the rules. If you want to live inside a freaking shoebox, you'll be an average person with average results. You have to think outside of the box. Oh my gosh, I have a perfect example. Yesterday, I go downstairs and I get my flat white coffee. Okay, new person, this is day 5, same coffee shop. I'm ordering the same coffee, different person. So I tell her I would like a flat white, double shot of espresso with oat milk in a medium cup. It comes in a small cup. Okay, put it in a medium cup, but it comes in a small cup. Hello, I'm not asking you to put a medium cup coffee into a small cup coffee. I'm asking you to take a small cup of coffee and put in a medium cup. Can you do that? Oh, but it comes in a small cup. We don't do that. Oh my, for Lord, for Pete's sakes, grab the medium cup, pour it in there, call it a day. I literally looked at her and I said, think outside of the cup. But that's what it comes in. It comes in a small cup. Oh, for Lord, help me. You see what I mean? So we have these rules that are really not rules, but you live your life by it because you're like, well, it comes in a small cup. No, well, put it in a big cup. So think outside of those things that you created for yourself, because that's the only way you're going to be able to change your life. Next thing, I want to play this game very quick because I don't want to go out of time. Write these 4 words down in this exact order. Potential. Then I want you to put an arrow to the right. Action. Then I want you to put an arrow down. Results. Then I want you to put an arrow to the left, and that is going to be your certainty or belief. So now, let me ask you now, if I asked you what's your potential, what would you put down? I walk you through mine, and then we can do the negative of that as well. So for the potential, I believe I'm limitless. I believe I can do whatever I set my mind to. Because if I believe then I can do it, I can do it. It's really that simple. Okay. So I believe that my potential is limitless, which then if you believe your potential is limitless, what kind of action are you going to take? Am I going to take like, I'm going to try this, or am I going to take like massive freaking action, balls to the walls? Massive action, because I already know that I can do it. So I'm going to take massive action. I'm not going to half-ass it. I'm going to take massive action because I know my potential is limitless. Well, if I take massive action, what kind of results am I going to get? Is it going to be a cute little result, or is it going to be like freaking amazing?
Freaking amazing.
It's going to be freaking amazing. And if you have amazing results, then what does that do to your belief? It says, I can do anything. I can do anything. So let's do this again. Now, let's do a full circle and say, if you believe that, I don't know, maybe I can do this, I'm going to try. What kind of action are you going to take?
A little baby one.
A baby action. And what kind of results are you going to have?
Baby results.
And then if you have baby results, you're going to be like, what does that do to your belief?
What's the point? What's the point of even doing it? Because
you see, I told you so. It's not going to work.
Yep.
I told you
just
so.
Give up.
So number 1, write this down. Everything you want to achieve, whatever that may be, write down what's my potential in that. Let's say you want to run a marathon. Do you believe you can run a marathon? What kind of action are you going to take based on your potential? What kind of results are you going to have? And what is that due to your belief? And play this game with yourself every single time you're trying to achieve something, because you'll realize it's the story. Change your story, change your life. The result is different based on what you believe going in. The next one, we always want to know the how, but how am I going to do that? But how? So Tony says you need to know what and why, not how. You'll figure out.
That one was huge for me, because I'm always, well, how are we going to do that? How is that going to happen? Like, how do we make that happen?
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget this. I told Christy, this is like year 7 of my career. And I told Christy, I just want to have 10 active listings at the same time. I've never had 10 active listings. I just want to have 10 active listings. Christy goes, You don't even have 10 yard signs. I'm like, what? Like, that is not how the small stuff, the how, like, oh, I'm going to need 10 yard signs. Like, that never crossed my mind. I freaking get 10 yard signs when I have 10 listings. So don't figure out the how, just know what you want and why you want that. Why do I want it? I don't know. I just, in that case, I just wanted to have 10 active listings. So don't ever
But we did. We had to buy a bunch of signs because we literally had like, yeah, you put it out there. And that right there was like, okay.
And then Christy called me and she's like, I told you so. Now we need new yard signs. Well, that's a great problem to have, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so believe that you can do it, you can do it. Okay, next one. Reasons come first, answers second. Always know what's your why, because that's what drives you. Like, number one reason of success for successful people, do you know what that is? Hunger. Their hunger. Number two is energy. They're hungry and they put their energy to it. That's a success. Okay. Next one. Force your, I believe this is pretty much 100% of my success. Force your brain to see results before you ever had the results. I teach this all the time. If you can't see it, you can't have it. That doesn't mean you can't have it. That just means you have to force your brain to be able to see the end result. If you can't even see the end result, you can't have it. You're not ready for it. So then sit down literally and say, I remember the first time I just wanted to have $100,000 in my savings account. I just wanted to have $100,000 in I couldn't even imagine it at the time. Dwayne, you remember that? Could we even imagine it? Could you even imagine that's possible for us at the time? You can do it. You will sit down and you'll freaking don't get up from there until you can see that $100,000 sitting in your account, and until it feels like I can totally do that. Whatever that is that you want to achieve, if you can't see it, you can't have it, which means you have to force your brain to see it. So force your brain to see the results before you ever had the results. As soon as you can see it, you can have it. Then you know exactly how to get there.
And I'm going to piggyback on that really quick, because Gene Frederick, he challenged us to write down massive goals. And he said to carry it around with you for a year. Don't share it with people who can't think big. And I wrote it down because he said if we run into him, we can get a selfie if we show our goals. But like, if we had a group chat and we were throwing it out there, because the overall goal is 1 million agents, 100 countries in 10 years. And so we were trying to think, like, how can we play a part in that? And so I said, I want 1,000 agents in my downline. And so then Kurt's like, by when? I'm like, don't say that. And then I got publicly for everyone to see. So I'm like, my hands are sweating. But I said by January 2024, I wrote it down. I'm going to have 1,000 agents in my downline. So you got to put those big goals out there, but you have to write it down. Like, just as much as you need to be able to see it, you have to write it down. It's so important.
Yes, I agree. And I actually will show you guys. I did that at the event. You know why I did that? Because my brain cannot understand the opportunity unless my eyes see it. So I literally sat down and I did the math and I messaged. So if you see me at events, that's the other thing, probably one of my best qualities. I act on it right away. When I'm in an event and something hits, I'm messaging Christy, I'm messaging Mariana, I'm messaging Said, hey, build this sheet, tell me this number, where we are. Like, I'm building right there as I'm learning, take massive action right away. So you don't forget it right away. So I messaged him and I said, Said, what percentage are we growing with at our best? What percentage are we growing with our lowest? And what's our average? So then I did the math. It's going to freaking blow your mind. Okay. So our average on Team Gogo, our growth, we have months that we grow 24% agent headcount, and then there are months we grow 6%. So the average is 9.77%. So I said, okay, do it at 10%. If we grow at 10%, do you want to take a wild guess? 1, 2, 3, in 3 years, where are we going to be? In agent headcount in Team Gogo in 3 years, all we do is grow month to month 10%. Take a wild guess. What's that number?
10,000.
27,553 agents. Do you know what that's worth?
Kidding me?
You know what that's worth? Take a wild guess. Bet you're muted. You're muted, Bet. Hold on, Bet, you're muted.
Like 800, you were calculating it at like 800 an agent, right? Because we weren't calculating if they were all capped.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then we're not even talking about the stocks. We're just talking about 20,000 agents. And if it's times 800, it's $16 million.
20 million, because it's 27,000 agents. That's
Oh,
20
27,000. My bad.
Yeah.
That's insane. It's
See why I
insane.
wrote it down? This is why I wrote it down, because I cannot, my brain cannot comprehend that on its own unless I literally sit down and do the math. But now that I saw it with my own two eyes, right? I saw it with my own two eyes. Now I can see it. Now I can believe it. Now it's done. Consider it done. So you have to write it down and force yourself to do the math. Okay, let's go back. Here it is, eye opener. What's the best resource? Do we have all the same resources?
Resourcefulness.
Resourcefulness is your best resource. And I think Dwayne, I don't know if Dwayne's still on here. Dwayne, are you here? He could probably tell you a million stories. I give zero shits when I want something, excuse my French.
Yeah.
I will talk to the president of that company. Honey, you wanna?
Yeah,
add on?
for sure. It's your greatest, I think, key to your success for sure is resourcefulness. No doubt about it. Whether it's real estate or anything, or, you know, finding the best stuff for Kobe's diabetes, whatever it is, like you're very resourceful.
I don't take no for an answer. I will go and find it. So resourcefulness is your best resource. If it doesn't exist, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Make it happen. You know, like one of my favorite is please watch the 6 Rules to Life by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He says, when somebody says you can't do it, that's because they believe they can do it. If they say it's never been done before, that just means I'll be the freaking first one to do it. I have zero problem being the first one to do it. Watch that 6 Rules of Life and use it as your pick-me-upper because there's so many good nuggets in there. Next one. How to grow a business. You remember 3 simple steps. Number 1, who's your ideal client? Who's your ideal client? Being on real estate, being on the, for me on the bootcamp side, being on the agent attraction side, who is your ideal client? Because here it is, let's talk about the listing or buy side. Let's say average commission $10,000 for the sake of the conversation. Would you love to work with a person who's just like you and it's smooth sailing to the closing table and you make $10,000? Or would you like to work with the biggest asshole, but you still make the same amount of money? Which one? I'm assuming ideal client, right? You want that person who's just like you. So then you have to figure out, because in the end of the day, you're making the same amount of money. Who is your ideal client? Write it down, and that's the only person that you want to work with. So don't even allow anybody else in there. But when you're thoughtful and you know exactly what you're going for, that's what you're going to attract. So number 1, rule 2, how to grow your business is who is your ideal client. Number 2, irresistible offer. Why should they work with you and not me? Why should they work with Anna and not Max? Or why should they work with Nosy and not Ellie, or Christy and not Mariana? What's your irresistible offer?
Let me just put something, guys. Every single call that I'm with Gogo, like Talk EXP, sometimes people are like, why should I choose you? And Gogo just goes, because I'm the best. And that's it. It's like the attitude. Like, if you set your mind like, well, I'm good, like, no, you're either going to be the best, or don't be it at all. Like, why should I work with you? I'm the best, and that's it. And if you don't want to work with the best, shame on you.
One of my favorites, when they ask you, do you reduce your commission? No.
One of the things that Tony Robbins said on that one.
You say no, and then you stop right there. And you do not talk until they talk. It's going to be uncomfortable, but if you talk, you lose. No. That's it. and you should have, and you wait until they're like, so, and then you continue on, and they'll never ask you again. Okay, Mike, go.
Well, I was just saying on the end, fall in love with your ideal client.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. One of the things that you said there is fall in love with your ideal client, not your product. Fall in love with them, make a connection with them.
Yes. And when you work with ideal clients, you know the saying, when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. When you work with your ideal clients, you don't work. Not only that, but they'll come to you because it's a magnet. You know who they are. They know who you are. You're going to attract them. So number one, who's your ideal client? Number two, have an irresistible offer. And number three, most importantly, over deliver. Go above and beyond, because happy clients refer. That one client is going to turn into 10 freaking cousins and aunts and uncles and childhood best friends and college sweethearts. So over deliver, go above and beyond for your clients. So I just wrote it down. I do whatever it takes. I don't just do blah, blah, blah. If this transaction is a little bit different and it's much harder, then I work much harder, but we will get to the freaking closing table. I do whatever it takes. Okay. So Tony said, do the uncomfortable every day and you will live in your dreams. If you do what's hard, life is easy. If you do what's easy, life is hard. I think that's all I had, guys. Oh, one more. Don't pray for God to make it easier. Pray to make you stronger. So then you can handle it, whatever life brings you.
There's way too many people on here not talking that I know had a crazy good experience.
I'll talk all day. I have so many things. I have so many things. One of the biggest things for me was energy, you guys. Energy is literally everything you do and everything, every impact, every brush of a shoulder, everything that you do on a daily basis, every person that you meet, just waking up and putting the energy and manifesting everything that you want in your life will make you who you want to be. And I realize I've always known that, but now I thought that I had it all locked in. But if I had it all locked in, I would be where I want to be. So getting rid of that pride that I had inside was probably the biggest thing for me, and letting that go so that I can be who I want to be one day. And then realizing too that I can't do it alone. And I knew that I had Team Gogo, but I was actually talking to Kurt Johnson, and he was like, so how long have you been with EXP? I told him a little bit of background of my story. And he was like, imagine if you used your resources, and he was talking about himself and everybody above him, where you would be 10 times as far. And I realized that, and he said, why aren't you doing that? And I said, because I know I can do it by myself. And he looked at me and he was like, stop, relinquish that pride that you have and use the resources that you have, because that's what EXP is all about. And that just, I was like, holy smokes. And he also told me a big takeaway for me. This is a one-on-one conversation. He said, if you want to be really successful in this industry, take somebody and make an example out of them. And that was huge for me too. And this is a little side note. There was somebody, I'm not going to name names, but of course, but there was somebody, you guys, that is not a part of Team Gogo and came up to me and was in tears. And she said, I just feel like I'm not a part of everything. I feel like I don't have a sense of community like you guys have. And I feel like I'm left out of a lot of things. And she looked at me and she said, I just want to let you know how lucky you guys are. How huge that is, that we have a sense of family. And I mean, how many people did you come across and did you meet the first time ever and you hugged? How important that is. But then take that and combine that into a small little Team Gogo that we have, which is actually not small, it's very large. But combine that into the sense of community. Every single event that we go to where we have shirts, we're sitting together, we're hugging, we're going out to dinners, we have a sense of family and inside of a family, which is huge. And she was literally in tears, you guys, it broke my heart. And I just told her, I was like, you know that you're always more than welcome to come and hang out with us. Don't feel like because we're a Team Gogo, you can't be a part of this. We're all family. We're all equal. And there's no other word than heartbreaking. But just know that what we have, be more than thankful for, because this is what Gogo has built is enormous. and she works her ass
I
off to do
didn't,
it too.
guys, we built it. I may have fought tooth and nail sometimes to make sure you refer to one another first before you feed a stranger. You know, I may have thought of like, hey, jump on Workplace and refer my Sims. So I'm going to use my Sims as an example. We came back, there was somebody looking for a buyer's agent. He took a screenshot from Workplace, posted it into our group, and he said, hey guys, can you guys please come and refer me? At least 7 of us jumped in the next 2 seconds and referred him. I hope, Mike, you got the job. Did you?
Yeah.
Woo! You did. Yes. Woo! High five. But that's what I mean. It's like we are here for one another. Like that's the best part of like, yes, we have the overall community, but our job is to be a community for ourselves as well. Be our family so that we can feed each other's family.
Is that Ryan back there? Do we get to sing him happy birthday?
Ryan, you here?
He's there. He's
There he is.
Okay,
Hey.
Robbie.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
To you. Oh yeah. Unmute yourselves, guys.
Unmute yourself. Ready?
Better stay there, but now I can't see you. Okay.
Okay, unmute. Unmute.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy
birthday
to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
Happy
to you.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I could hear it perfectly.
Were we in synchronicity?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
what is it called? Where you're all like doing different.
Harmony.
Yes.
Maybe we'll start a Team Gogo choir one day when we really have nothing else going on.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anybody else wants to share their thoughts, their feelings, their takeaways?
Gogo, I'll jump on real quick and concisely 3 things that I got, like to help support why, and then the daily habit, and then to stay motivated. In my early 20s, I built Amway, which a lot of times people think we're a multi-level marketing, network marketing, pyramid scheme type company. And those companies are built where you don't make money until you recruit a ton of people. This company was built so that the very first agent, whether they recruit anybody or not, has the company's designed for their best interest at heart. Like you can get your cat back, you can get stock, you have access to all the best agents in the entire country. Like whether you want to recruit anybody or not, this is a phenomenal company. It's built for the first person's benefit, number 1. Number 2, to stay motivated, right? I think it was Jay Kinder who said to build a habit, right? Like for me, it's easy to work out every single day. I take in what I need, the proper nutrition, and I put out what I want to work out physically. This is no different. We just need to input something in our mind to support whatever the goal is that we're working on, and then output something every single day. It doesn't have to be running a marathon every day, but consistently something every single day. And that'll build like the daily habit, right? And then the motivation, Beth kind of hit on this earlier about Tony Robbins saying throughout the day, change your, what is it?
I like how you stand, how you sit.
Right. You guys got it. Your movement, change your state by movement, right? So the reason why we have all the goals and all the habits, but then we don't do it is simply because we don't feel like doing it. So set that reminder. For me, I always know to make my hard calls after workout because I feel great. But if I stick with that, it's once a day or twice a day. But if you set a reminder every hour or however often you want, and you can change your state in 30 seconds, you can be in peak state 10 times a day instead of once a day. So
I always say when people say I don't have time, you don't have a time problem. You have a priority problem. You put the wrong things in the wrong order. Everybody has the same. Do you think Tony Robbins gets like 5 days in one? No, he has 24 hours in a day. He just prioritizes different than I do. I don't jump into 40-degree water every single morning. I know I should. Maybe I would see even better results. But again, I prioritize wrong. I have a story. Oh, that water's cold. Or I don't have time. Or I'll do that tomorrow. So you don't have a time problem, you have a priority problem. And then when you have different results that you want, and you keep telling this story, the easiest way, then I snap anyone out of it. And now this is your responsibility when you start growing your team, and when you have your team, when somebody's giving you, this is the reason why, oh, I can't do this or that, then ask them any other excuses. Any other excuses? Don't ask them why, because they'll give you a story of why they can't do it. And ask yourself the same question. Any other excuses? You know, it's an excuse. There's a million reasons why, oh, my cat had diarrhea. Oh, I can't do the open house today because of blah, blah, blah. It's just an excuse.
I remember one quote that they had, I just read, and it says, I have a responsibility to make agents realize what they are saying no to. I like that one. That one was one that resonated with me. Yeah. Trying to figure out, look, if you're going to say no, you need to know why. Or
yeah, is this an educated decision, or are
understand
you based on what you heard on the street? Because yes. I made a decision. I could have been at EXP a long time ago, and I made a decision based on what I heard on the street. I'm smarter than that. I am way smarter than that to make an uneducated decision. At least if you say no to something, know what the heck you say no to, and let it be an educated decision. I did my research, and this is the reason why. And that's okay. We are not for everybody, but let it be an educated decision, because here it is, making a bad decision in life, it's okay, but not making a decision can be worse than a bad decision. So sometimes not making a decision is worse than making a bad decision.
Or making the decision based on what you hear on the street, like what you said, or what your broker told you.
My favorite. Okay, here's how you. Okay, so you
don't want to go there.
So you want to get a Tesla, and you're gonna go and ask, I don't know, Hyundai, if you should buy a Tesla or not. What do you think Hyundai is going to say? No, what a stupid idea. You should buy a Hyundai. Of course. You know what I mean? So don't ask. What do you think the broker is going to say? Oh my gosh, they are the best in sliced bread. You go over there. Like, that's never going to happen. You're asking the wrong person about what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, Marissa, do you want to share? Now then you have a mouthful.
This whole time I was holding myself back from taking a bite. I was so hungry. But yes, this was my first event. It was so nice to meet a lot of you. My first event, I decided to sit.
Not all of us?
I was thinking the same thing. So not all of us, just.
It wasn't so nice to meet all of us that were there, just only a lot of us that were there?
A lot of us that were there, yes. And I wanted to sit front and center, and I'm going to do that at every single event that I can make it to, because I understand the importance. I've always understood the importance of networking and, you know, positioning yourself, putting yourself amongst the best. And I think it pushes you forward a lot faster. So, I mean, I will be at the Tony Robbins event in November. I already got my VIP ticket, but I'm going to upgrade to like the next level. I'm going to EXPCon. I already booked Cabo. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to make sure that I'm there, taking advantage of all the relationships that I could build here at EXP. I was happy to meet everybody. I felt the sense of community right away, which is something that I don't think that I've ever felt before in any work environment. And that's huge. I had so many takeaways. I've got a bunch of notes. I kind of wrote a ton of things down. But one of the things that really stood out to me was live better. It was 5 keys to building revenue share. I kind of posted it on my Instagram for those who are following me. But mindset and possibility, vision and belief. Do work and invest in people. Be patient, which is one of the things that I need to learn how to do, because I get so anxious and I want things to happen right away. But realistically, you have to give it time, and you have to have your systems in place. So that's something that I'm working on. Support others and receive and share. Huge.
Thank you so much. I loved it. I saw you every day and I loved it the most. I love seeing you guys there at events. And I'll be honest with you though, if I'll catch you an event working on your level of alcohol in the pool, and then you're going to miss a training, I will be the first one to drag you right by your ear. Okay, you're not going to spend thousands of dollars to come and get shit-faced. You can stay home for that. That's not the point of the event. The events are there for you to learn, for you to meet people, not for you to party. I understand that's maybe the only trip that you got away in this year. It doesn't matter. I'll drag you straight from your ear right into the event drunk. I don't care. So it is, in my opinion, if you are investing into yourself, then you have to use it for the purpose of learning. Okay, anybody else wants to share?
I think the best one to end this with is we're lucky. So I think it was Jay Kinder who said this. People are excited to get into EXP, but you're lucky if we let you in. I liked when he said it like that. Like, this is a community, it's a family, it's our, it's almost like we're, I don't want to say possessive over it, but it's like, it's our babies. Like, we love each other so much. Like, honestly, watching all of you guys grow, even though some of you have started real estate way before we did, but coming into EXP and Team Gogo and watching you guys just explode, it's like that mama bear feeling. Sometimes you get that like excitement over someone, watching them grow and just go to a whole new level. So it's so cool. And I really do think that people are lucky if they get to experience what we're experiencing. We're lucky if we let them in and we let them know about this amazing life that we're having. I mean, because we want to share it with them, but some of them just don't want to hear us. So I don't know. That really, I like that one when you said that, because it's the truth.
Thank you, Christy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are way over the hour. It is 11:19 for me in California. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you all for sharing your knowledge. Take that energy, take that knowledge, take that fire that's in your soul right now and make yourself a better life.
Gogo, just one more thing, because I've been chatting with some people in private. Just guys, if you liked what I saw, just remember to reach out to the person who invited you here today. If you want to know more, if you want to ask about Team Gogo, if you want to know when we're going to have another one of those amazing open to the public calls, just reach out to that person that asked you to join us today.
Thank you, Mariana. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget.
Don't forget about Why Not.
Oh,
yeah.
Good one. We have Marissa today. Marissa, invite people to come watch you.
Yes, that's
so. Marissa, are you related to Jody Watley? I've been meaning to ask you that for a long time.
That is the golden question. I think so. I
mean, you look like you could be related to her. Like, you look like, she could be your mom or aunt or something like that. I don't know.
So I've been told. I think that we're related. I know that my mom had some recent contact with her. So I think I still need to confirm that.
Yeah.
But I think so.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Don't forget, as Abby Stasic would say it, I'll see you at the top or from the top.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.